Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into ancient India with the epic tale of the Ramayana.
Sounds exciting.
It is. We're exploring this incredible story through the lens of Srinikata's book, Rama, Lakshmana, and Hanuman, Brothers in Arms, Valmiki's Ramayana retold.
This one's fascinating, isn't it? It's not just a retelling.
Right. It's got that modern twist.
Exactly. It's like ancient wisdom meets self-help. Akata was actually inspired by his daughter Siri to write it. They used to have these family discussions about the Ramayana.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he wanted to make it relevant, for people today.
That makes sense. So, how do these ancient stories apply to our lives now?
Totally. Okay, so let's jump into chapter 1.
Perfect.
All right, so we start with King Dasharatha, the ruler of Kosala. He's got 3 queens, Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi.
3 queens. Wow.
Yeah. And get this, Kaikeyi was a warrior princess.
Away.
Yeah. She was pretty badass. She actually helped Dasharatha expand his kingdom using her military skills. And because of that, he granted her 2 boons. Basically, 2 promises.
Uh-oh, that sounds like it could be trouble later on.
You got it. Those promises become a big deal. But before we get there, let's talk about Rama. This guy is not your average prince. 16 years old, and already this extraordinary figure.
What do you mean?
I mean, picture this. 8 feet tall, long arms, built like a warrior, incredibly skilled archer.
Whoa, sounds like a superhero.
Right. You can tell from the beginning this guy's destined for greatness.
I bet. Okay, so we've got this epic prince in the making. What's happening elsewhere in the story?
Well, while Rama is growing up, we're introduced to sage Vishwamitra. He's trying to perform these important rituals in the Tataka forest.
Rituals, like religious ceremonies.
Exactly. But there's a problem.
What is it?
He keeps getting interrupted by Rakshasas.
Rakshasas, those are like the demons, right?
Yeah, but it's a bit more nuanced than that. See, they weren't always seen as just evil monsters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like protectors of culture, guarding against humans, messing things up.
Huh, interesting. So not necessarily good or bad, just powerful forces.
Exactly. But in this case, we've got Tataka. She's the leader of this Rakshasa group.
Okay.
And her sons are causing some serious trouble.
Like what?
They're disrupting Vishwamitra's sacred fire. He can't complete his rituals.
Oh, so that's why he needs help.
You got it. He turns to King Dasharatha for help.
I can see where this is going. He's going to ask for Rama, isn't he?
Bingo. But Dasharatha is in a tough spot. On one hand, he's duty-bound to help the sage. But on the other, sending his young son to fight demons, that's a tough call for any parent.
Right. Talk about a dilemma. So what does Rama think about all this? He's still just a teenager, right?
Yeah, but Rama's no ordinary teenager. He's courageous, ready to step up.
Wow.
Totally driven by this sense of duty. He wants to help. And his brother Lakshmana, totally loyal, insists on going with him.
Their brotherly bond is a big deal in the Ramayana.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Lakshmana's devotion to Rama, it's a major theme. It speaks to the power of family, loyalty, values that still matter today, don't you think?
Definitely. So they head off to face these Rakshasas. What happens when they confront Tataka and their sons?
Things get intense. Rama uses his archery skills to fight them. And get this, he manages to fling one of the sons, Maricha, across a huge distance.
Wait, like with just one arrow? How far are we talking?
Super far. It's actually linked to the location of modern-day Mauritius.
No way.
Yeah, that blend of mythology and geography always blows my mind.
Me too. So what happens to Maricha after being flung across the world?
It's crazy. The experience changes him. He gives up his troublesome ways and becomes a hermit.
Talk about a life change.
Right. Makes you think even negative events can have unexpected outcomes.
So what about Sage Vishwamitra? Is he impressed with Rama?
Oh, absolutely. He rewards Rama with these divine weapons. Pretty powerful stuff.
Divine weapons sounds intense. Okay, so now Rama's back. He's a hero. He's got magical weapons. What happens next?
Well, around this time, we're introduced to Seetha.
Seetha.
Yeah, she's the daughter of King Janaka.
Yeah.
And she's holding a Swayamvara.
What?
A Swayamvara. It's this tradition where a princess chooses her husband from a bunch of suitors.
Oh, interesting. So she has a say in who she marries.
Exactly. It's not just an arranged marriage. And for Sita's Swayamvara, the challenge is to lift this legendary bow, the Shiv Dhanush.
Sounds tough.
It is. Like, no ordinary man could even budge it.
I bet Rama steps up to the challenge.
You know it. He effortlessly lifts the bow, strings it, and then boom, breaks it.
No way. Talk about showing off.
Right. It's the symbol of his incredible strength. And of course, he wins Sita's hand in marriage.
Ah, so their epic love story begins.
It does. It's one of the most famous in Indian literature, a real testament to the power of love and destiny.
Okay, so Dasharatha must be thrilled. His son is a hero, he's found love, and he's ready to rule. What does the king do?
He decides to make Rama the next king of Kosala.
Seems like a happy ending. Everyone's happy, right?
Not so fast. Remember those 2 boons Kaikeyi received?
Oh, right. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, things are about to take a dramatic turn.
What happens?
Well, Kaikeyi, influenced by her maid Mandara, starts making demands.
What kind of demands?
She wants her son, Bharata, to be crowned king instead of Rama.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit like how social media and negative influences can mess with people's minds, you know?
Like all that comparison and jealousy.
Exactly. And it gets worse. She also demands that Rama be exiled for 14 years.
Well, no way. Exiled to where?
To the Dandaka forest. And it's a dangerous place full of, you guessed it, rakshasas.
This is intense. Poor Dasharatha. He must be heartbroken, having to choose between his wife's demands and his son's future.
It's a brutal situation. He's totally torn apart. A reminder that good intentions can sometimes lead to really painful outcomes.
So what does Rama do? He's basically being asked to give up everything.
Rama's response is amazing. He accepts his exile with incredible grace and dignity.
Really?
Yeah. He puts duty and honor above his own happiness, chooses to honor his father's promise, even though it means making a huge sacrifice.
Wow. What about Seetha and Lakshmana? They don't have to go with him, do they?
Nope. But they refuse to leave his side. Sita's like, my place is with my husband. And Lakshmana, always the loyal brother, insists on going too.
That's incredible. They're sticking together no matter what. So they head off into exile.
Yep, into the unknown. And their first encounter is with Guha, a tribal king.
Okay.
And this is important because Rama treats him with so much respect, even though he's outside the traditional social hierarchy.
That says a lot about Rama's character.
Definitely. Like, social status doesn't matter to him. He values people for who they are.
Right. So they continue on their journey. Where do they end up?
Sage Bharadwaja guides them toward Chitrakuta. That's where they start to build a new life in exile. It's a huge shift, going from a palace to the wilderness.
Must have been tough.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's in the forest that Rama really starts to understand the meaning of sacrifice, resilience, and leadership. It's like a training ground for him.
Meanwhile, back in Ayodhya, I bet things aren't going well.
You're right. Tragedy strikes. Dasharatha, heartbroken over Rama's exile, dies. When Bharata returns, he's devastated by his father's death, and he's furious about what Kaikeyi did.
So what's his reaction?
He refuses to accept the throne. He knows it belongs to Rama.
That's a powerful statement. What does he do instead?
He goes to Chitrakuta to beg Rama to come back. But Rama, true to his word, refuses.
So what happens to the kingdom?
Bharata takes Rama's sandals and places them on the throne. It's a symbolic gesture.
What does it mean?
It acknowledges Rama as the rightful king, even though he's in exile. Bharata is basically saying, I'm just holding the fort until you return.
That's true loyalty.
It is. He becomes Rama's regent, ruling in his brother's name. But he lives simply like an ascetic to show his solidarity with Rama. And with Bharata in charge, Rama, Seetha, and Lakshmana leave Chitrakuta and venture deeper into the Dandaka forest.
I bet it's even more dangerous there.
It is. They encounter Varada, this terrifying demon.
Okay, so now it's really getting serious.
Yeah, and this encounter is a turning point. Varada immediately goes after Seetha. It's a moment of pure danger.
But Rama won't let anything happen to her, right?
Of course not. He and Lakshmana team up and fight this intense battle.
Do they defeat him?
They do. They manage to bury this demon deep underground, and that victory is important.
Why?
It's the beginning of Rama's mission to cleanse the kingdom of evil, like the first step on a much bigger journey. But that, my friend, is a story for the next part of our deep dive. As Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana go deeper into the Dandaka forest, they run into more and more rakshasas. It's like every turn they take.
Each one more dangerous than the last, I imagine.
Exactly. And each encounter tests Rama, pushes him further.
It's like the forest is a training ground, right? Forging him into the leader he's meant to be.
It really is. He's not just a prince anymore. Out there in the wilderness, he becomes a protector, someone who puts others first.
It makes me think about those divine weapons Sage Vishwamitra gave them.
Yes.
Do they use them in these battles?
Absolutely. Those weapons are like symbols, of Rama's connection to something bigger than himself.
Divine power, fighting against evil.
Right. And they give him an edge in these fights.
It makes you wonder, are they also symbols of Rama's own inner strength?
Oh, for sure. Kata's retelling is full of symbolism. He wants us to think deeper, go beyond the surface of the story.
So, as Rama defeats these Rakshasas, what's happening to the Dandaka forest? Is it actually becoming a safer place?
Well, the sages who live there, they paint a pretty bleak picture before Rama arrives. Like the Rakshasas were running rampant.
I can imagine. Total chaos.
Exactly. But as Rama starts winning these battles, a sense of peace returns.
So he's not just fighting individual demons, he's restoring order, protecting the innocent.
And it's not like he's just going around slaying every Rakshasa in sight.
He's not a mindless killing machine.
Right. Rama uses his judgment. He figures out who's a real threat, who needs to be stopped.
He's fighting for justice, not revenge.
Exactly. And that sense of justice becomes even more important as the story goes on, because it all leads up to the big showdown with Ravana.
The ultimate evil.
You got it. So we've got these battles, we've got order being restored. What else happens to Rama during his time in the forest?
Yeah, what other kinds of experiences shape his character?
Well, he and Seetha and Lakshmana, they meet a lot of sages along the way. And those encounters are important
Why is that?
because the sages offer guidance, wisdom, a chance for Rama to connect with something beyond just survival.
It's like finding moments of peace amidst all the chaos.
Exactly. They remind him of the importance of virtue, of spiritual growth, even when things are tough.
It's like they're mentoring him, helping him grow into the leader he needs to be.
And that's another way Kata brings the story into the present, you know?
What do you mean?
He's connecting these ancient ideas to modern self-help. Like, to find true fulfillment, you need both inner strength and outer resilience.
You have to work on yourself, on the inside, while also facing the challenges of the world.
Right, it's a balance. So they're battling demons, they're learning from sages, they're living this incredible life in the forest.
What about their relationships? I mean, all that pressure must have an impact.
It does. It either tears people apart or brings them closer.
I bet Rama, Seetha, and Lakshmana get even closer.
You're right. Sita's devotion to Rama is amazing. She could have stayed in the palace, but she chose to be with him through everything.
That's true love.
It is. And Lakshmana's loyalty, just as powerful. He's like a fierce protector, always ready to defend them.
They're a real team.
Exactly. And that's another big takeaway from the Ramayana, the importance of strong relationships.
It's like a reminder that we don't have to face our challenges alone. We need people to support us, to love us.
Right. So yeah, this exile is hard, but it's also transformative. They're growing, becoming stronger, both as individuals and as a family.
It's like the quiet before the storm, right?
You could say that. They're building up their strength, their resilience, because even bigger challenges are coming.